All right, so we are going to be looking at the Aka elephant mask. This is from a people group called the Bamileke. The Bamileke are from what is current Cameroon, so kind of right in the middle of the continent of Africa. And like every single headpiece, crown, mask, cloak, tunic that we look at, you have to consider the fact that it's part of not only a larger costume, but also it's going to be part of a ritual, ceremony, commemoration, some sort of performance or event every time. Okay. Masks are not made to hang on the wall, right? They are meant to be performed and in their performance to be activated, the life force within them to come alive, right? So this is an object made of wood, woven raffia. Raffia is like dried grass or straw, cloth, and beads. So all of this color that you see on the exterior comes from small seed beads, similar to what we saw with the bandolier bag. Now, one of the things that I want you guys to consider is if you've held a beaded object, whether it's a purse or a pillow or a dress, they're very heavy, right? So this object is going to have a weight to it. The face of the object is right here, and it's definitely a therianthrope, right? Because it has human features on an animal. It has that combination of the two. So we have eyes that I guess could be human, could be elephant, but then you have a nose and a mouth that are definitely human. Okay, but then if we look at the ears are supposed to be reminiscent of elephant ears, and then this whole long part hanging down the middle, that's the trunk of the elephant. And so if you know about elephants, right, their mouth is actually tucked up under their trunk, but here we have it on top because it's that combination between the two. So we're going to watch this Smart History video. We're going to look at some of the performances here of the Bamileke people.
We're in the Brooklyn Museum looking at this magnificent beaded mask.
This mask is covered in beads.
So one thing I do want to point out is the mask they're looking at is from the Brooklyn Museum, still the Bamileke Society. It's just a little bit different than our mask in terms of the design, the coloring, everything else is the same.
It was danced by the members of the Elephant Society, the Kouossi Society, in the Bamileke Kingdom of Cameroon.
Cameroon is a country in Central Africa, but we're seeing this object hermetically sealed within plexiglass in a museum, completely divorced from the way that it would have been used and understood in its original context.
This was a masquerade, which involved not just a mask, but a costume.
So I want you guys to notice here, let's back up just a little bit. Again, masquerade, it's this performance, it's a ceremony. So the Kouossi Society is actually activating this mask by wearing it. And you can see that there's these red feathers that kind of go with the headdress here. And then they also would incorporate as part of their costume a leopard skin. And so there's certain colors and patterns, materials associated with this specific masquerade. So this will of course go under function.
But a costume, performers, musicians, and attendants to bring this mask to life, to do what it was really supposed to do.
So notice right here, the so, TSO, that's the performance. That's the actual elephant dance. And I think it's fascinating because as the wearer performs, right, as he moves, the ears are actually going to flap back and forth, and there's going to be some movement to the trunk in the front, and so it becomes activated through wear. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of the transformation mask from the Kwakwaka'wakw in British Columbia, and the fact that the wearer could pull the little strings on the inside and the mask would open and shut. As this is performed, it actually has movement to it.
in terms of honoring the king and bringing about social harmony.
So we should not be seeing it frozen, hung, as if it was just a piece of cloth.
This object was obviously collected and has now a second life in this museum space. It's very hard for us to recontextualize its original use, but we know from photographs that the Bamileke Society would wear these with a red feather headdress, a leopard skin pelt, and a full body costume. The leopard and the elephant were symbols of rule and powerful symbols for the fawn. The fawn was a divine king who could
So fawn is what they call their king. And fawn is going to refer to this ancient story of the king being able to transform into an elephant. And so the elephant dance, the so, is to honor the power, the supernatural power of the king to transform
into the elephant, and the leopard was thought to be an animal that could transform into a human. So we have that connection between divine rule and the essence of these powerful animals.
So not only is it going to be power and authority, right, and performance, ceremony, we also have that theme of transformation, because you have the leopard pelt to show a leopard can transform to a human, and then the human is wearing not only a leopard pelt but also an elephant mask to show that the king can transform into an elephant.
So the Bamileke that would have worn this would have been court officials, title holders, warriors, people that held themselves great power, and in their association with the leopard and with the elephant would have expressed the power of the king, and in a sense the political stability of that hierarchical order.
The Bamileke king, the fawn, allowed this society, and only this one, to dance the elephant mask and to wear leopard skin. They were entrusted with these symbols of authority and power. The main form in this beaded piece is the isosceles triangle, which relates to the patterning on the body of the leopard.
Highly stylized, though, as the entire mask is. It's dazzling, and it has a kind of optical quality that is full of energy and dynamism.
And imagine when it's worn and danced and performed, it would be incredibly dynamic with all of these various materials and colors and shapes all brought together to suggest the power of that king.
And in Cameroon today, the Bamileke still perform this ritual, now annually, but instead of warriors performing it, these are powerful members of the society.
So that gives you an idea, maybe a little bit of their context, that this is a continued ceremony, that this is something that is still done, and that it's something that is viewed as belonging to first the warrior class and now the elite, performed by men. I want you guys to notice that some of the dancers of this society have drums on their head. And so the way this works is there's a piece of skin stretched across the top there. And as they pull those handles on the side, it's actually moving paddles that are hitting the top of that skin and creating the drum sound. So it is a performance. It is something that makes the sound. And of course, that sound of hitting the paddle hitting the skin is supposed to sound like the thundering herd of an elephant. And so sound, sight, those things taken into understanding here at this ceremony. And a ceremony generally has an audience, and that's definitely true here with the Bamileke. There's another picture. So again, these are not everyday worn objects. These are going to be specifically for the ceremony honoring the king, which is now done once a year.